All right, Erica will be back in a couple minutes with our forecast. A Cleveland University is getting a multi-million-dollar boost to train the next generation of prosecutors, creating the first ever program in our state. First at 4, Brittany Weir has our story.
Attorney General Dave Yost at Cleveland State on Tuesday to announce a new prosecutor training program, the first of its kind here in Ohio, which will award the university about $5 million.
The prosecutor's job is heightened. It's more important than any other lawyer's job because they are acting on behalf of all of us.
Starting next school year, Cleveland State University's College of Law will be the first in the state with a curriculum built specifically to train prosecutors. The program is backed by a one-time $5 million endowment from the Attorney General's office, combined with the $2.2 million in university support and outside partnership.
I love the fact that that money is going to help to train some of the next generation of prosecutors that will serve around Ohio.
Only 10 to 12 students will be accepted each year. They will go through a specialized curriculum, a criminal prosecution clinic, and hands-on training with prosecutors across Ohio. They will then be placed in prosecutors' offices statewide.
This project is designed to actually create a long-term sustained pipeline of people that will enter the profession, be well-trained to act at the highest level of integrity and professionalism in representing the people of Ohio.
CSU is already producing prosecutors. Fergus Gallagher graduated from CSU Law in 2024 and is now an assistant prosecuting attorney in Cuyahoga County. He's proof that the pipeline exists, and this new program is designed to make it stronger.
I think a program like this in the clinical course is going to allow such a unique look into the day-to-day life of what a prosecutor does and kind of how we do our jobs.
Now law students at CSU will have a dedicated path to becoming a prosecutor, trained, placed, and ready to serve communities across the state. In Cleveland, Brittany Weir, 19 News.